Good evening. Trust your day has been splendid. Welcome to the English News Bulletin. Let's commence with the headlines. People living with disabilities here in Rwanda commend the fact that discrimination against them has continued to steadily decrease and that the support provided for them has been helping them to progressively transform their welfare. The 2023 Middle East and Africa Environmental Sustainability Scorecard has placed Rwanda among the top 5 countries when it comes to environmental protection efforts and fighting the effects of climate change. I'm Olive Nete. Welcome to the news in details. People living with disabilities here in Rwanda commend the fact that discrimination against them has continued to steadily decrease and the support provided for them has been helping them to progressively transform their welfare, with many engaging in agriculture activities as well as handicrafts. Sergeant Hore kicks us off tonight.
As part of celebrations to mark the International Day of Persons with Disabilities, some of their achievements were showcased in the Eastern Province.
The activities we are now engaged in have transformed our lives. It used to be that everybody looked down on us, to the point that no one took us seriously, even during elections. Now, however, people living with disabilities have rights just like everybody else, and the groups and cooperatives we form help us to make a living selling our produce and making our lives better because we are able to pay school fees for our children. I joined the cooperative and I'm able to save my money as well as borrow when necessary. I'm also now a beekeeper.
Rwanda's development partners have also reiterated their commitment to helping such people to transform their lives.
We are working together with the government to help make sure that people who are living with disabilities are not suffering because of those disabilities. Because if we create opportunities, if we have assistive technology, then people who have disabilities can contribute just like everyone else, and their contributions are incredibly important.
The government of Rwanda acknowledges the progress made, but also points out that more needs to be done in this respect. We have made progress when it comes to fighting the discrimination of people living with disabilities and ensuring that they join the rest of the society in the country's developmental efforts. You know that since the country's liberation, the policy is that no one is left behind, including people living with disabilities, which is why we are happy that progress has been made. But we must also look at the challenges they face so that they can continue to be assisted. The general population census of 2022 indicated that there are 391,775 people living with disabilities in Rwanda, and another census specifically for people in that category is currently underway to determine what sort of challenges they face.
Thank you, Serge, for the details. Now, the 2023 Middle East and Africa Environmental Sustainability Scorecard has placed Rwanda among the top 5 countries when it comes to environmental protection efforts and fighting the effects of climate change. And experts have observed that this is the result of good leadership as well as cooperation between different stakeholders in the country. We have details on the story.
$36 million are being invested in the free distribution of water filters in 1.2 million homes by 2028, with the aim of eliminating the need to use firewood and charcoal to boil drinking water, reducing carbon emissions by as much as 3 million tons.
Here in Rwanda, currently we are just distributing ceramic water filters, and our filters doesn't require people to boil water in order to get safe water, and hence then we just reduce the amount of firewood that needs to be used in order to boil water so that people can get safe drinking water.
Another 2 billion Rwandan francs will be invested over the next 18 months in the distribution of affordable solar energy equipment in homes across the country.
There is a lot of need in renewable energy, a need because we don't have, not everyone is electrified. Also, when you put renewable energy, you save money, you save energy, and you save the planet. Why do you save the planet? Because it's clean energy. You reduce the emission of CO2. You really make the air clean.
Then there are companies actively working to reduce emissions from Rwanda's motor vehicles. That 50 million will go towards buying the necessary equipment to be able to mass manufacture enough devices so that they can be installed in vehicles, and also access more financing so that we will be able to do this on a long-term basis. That 50 million is therefore a good starting point. This investment will deal with any challenges we may encounter when it comes to helping to reduce emissions from motor vehicles. You know that fuel prices have continued to go up, and our oil helps with economizing when it comes to how much fuel a vehicle consumes. Also, it helps to protect the engine better, enabling it to go further before an oil change is required, for example, 5,000 kilometers instead of 3,000. With these and other efforts underway to protect the environment here in Rwanda, it is no wonder that the country is gaining global recognition in this regard.
With the
IMF or World Bank saying sub-Saharan African countries should allocate between 1 and 8% of their national budgets towards environmental protection efforts. And here in Rwanda, it is known that at least 3% is being allocated. But other institutions like the Ministry of Finance and Economic Planning work with the Ministry of Environment to put aside other funds to this end, not to mention what is done independently in many other institutions budget-wise. It becomes clear that the country probably exceeds even that 8%, which is a good standing. Rwanda, Egypt and South Africa lead African nations on the 2023 Middle East and Africa Environmental Sustainability Scorecard list of 17 countries, with the United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia the only countries featured from the Middle East.
Now, with 1 week to go before the world marks Human Rights Day, Rwanda's National Commission for Human Rights has begun a campaign geared towards raising awareness on the importance of freedoms, justice and value for all. Serge Honore has more on this.
Even though Rwanda has made impressive progress when it comes to human rights, officials in the National Commission for Human Rights point out that much more needs to be done.
It is good that we found that everything is alright, but as you know, there is no country globally that can claim to be at 100%. Here there is the problem of domestic violence that leads children to turn to a life on the street. That is where criminals come from, resulting to more inmates in the country's prisons. And it just keeps spiraling like that, with one problem leading to another. That is the reason we call for more civic education training, focusing on homes and schools, so that the rights of children are untouchable.
Participants in the discussions that marked the start of the week-long activities geared towards the promotion of human rights in the country noted on the importance of such principles. I understood that human rights are not to be tampered with, and that we should protect them by denouncing gender-based violence. Everybody should understand that human rights are essential. Organizers called for cooperation in fighting the vice.
There
are cases of men suffering from gender-based violence, though the numbers are not as high as those of women and girls. There must therefore be cooperation, and as the theme states, we must mitigate this vice. Victims suffer through many things, including severe depression, and they sometimes contract dangerous illnesses, not to mention the hardships that may result, such as teen pregnancies and families abandoning such girls. Therefore, victims must be supported, but we must also focus our efforts on mitigating the occurrence of such incidents, because as I said before, prevention is better than cure.
During the week-long activities, events will be organized in schools as well as in neighborhoods, with discussions to be held highlighting the seriousness of the situation. Human Rights Day will be celebrated on the 10th of this month of December.
Thank you, Serge. Now, women of the Democratic Green Party in the Southern Province are unwavering in their commitment to fostering familial harmony, as their family believe that the progress of the family is intricately linked to the overall development of the country. They reiterated on this during the party's gathering on Sunday in Huye district. We have more.
Some members of the Democratic Green Party's Women's Council in the Southern Province acknowledge gender imbalances in household roles. After being trained, they say they are committed to promoting the principle of gender equality. There are some men who would spend time just sitting around without doing anything, and then in the evening they would start complaining that the woman did not accomplish all tasks earlier, and then they would quarrel.
A man
and the woman may both finish their farming activities, and the man would go to drink beer with other men and leave the woman do the housework alone. And when he gets home, he starts complaining that the wife did not feed the livestock. But after the trainings I just received, I will also train other women. Honorable Jean-Claude Ntezimana, the Secretary General of the Democratic Green Party, urged members to be characterized by confidence and strive to work together, starting within their families.
Sometimes you find imbalances in families, but we explain to them about the principle of gender equality, how they should work together and in harmony with each other, carrying out their responsibilities, and they should both aim for the development of the family.
During these retreats, members of the Democratic Green Party in the Southern Province also elected their leaders. Louise Mutuimana now serves as the representative of Green Party Women's Committee in the region.
Now, women in leadership and former United Nations members from French-speaking countries are advocating for proactive measures to promote gender equality and harmony in their respective work nations. Currently gathered in Rwanda for a 5-day retreat, these 20 women representing 20 different countries worldwide are focusing on finding solutions to enhance female participation in peacekeeping missions. Their commitment to this cause was reaffirmed after their visit to the Kigali Genocide Memorial at Gisozi, where they learned about the tragic history of the genocide against the Tutsi in Rwanda.
Most of all, I'm really very honored to have come to visit this memorial, Genocide Memorial, which obviously reminds us of a very dark history, but which has got a positive outlook in the sense that it teaches us a lot to live together, and I see that there's a lot of hope. The training actually is on leadership, and I must say that with strong leadership, you will not witness the kind of situation that Rwanda witnessed before. Right now we are seeing that Rwanda has strong leadership, and that's why we are here for this training, to also really teach us and also to share experience so that we can also become strong leaders.
In Rwanda, it's very impressive the work that has been done by the authorities for giving hope to the future generation and for giving us the feeling of what happened during the genocide in 1994. I am impressed, very touched, emotional, and I would wish that every citizen visiting Rwanda is having the opportunity to visit the museum now.
Perut Nyirabashyitsi, the sole female motorcyclist in Rusizi district, expresses joy in realizing her long-held dream of pursuing this profession she's passionate about. She looks forward to the positive impact it will have on her lifestyle. Let's hear more about Perut's journey.
Perut Nyirabashyitsi, who dropped out of school in Senior 3, ventured into business as a telecommunications agent. Through diligent saving, she aimed to fund her aspiration of learning to ride a motorcycle, a passion she deeply cherished. Upon reaching her financial goal, she promptly transitioned into her role as a motorcyclist. When you start working with the Association of Other Motorcyclists, they welcome you. They gave me a warm welcome, and they were happy about it. She has been driving for a month now, and she says that she at least gets 6,000 Rwandan francs per day. She also encourages other women to join. As I joined this, I would also like to encourage other girls to come, since it is a good profession that can provide you with money and would help you to develop without engaging in other bad habits. And they shouldn't complain, since they can develop with this. Do you think 7,000 is little money? Both the passengers and her fellow motorcyclists appreciate the hard work of the lady, and they also say that this should serve as an example to other ladies as well.
That lady is brave, and they gave her a license because they recognize that she is capable. I prefer riding with her compared to others.
Currently, driving other people's motorcycles, Perut has the goal of having her own motorcycle and further develop. She also said that there is much that young people can do and achieve when they set goals and strive to achieve them.
Now to health matters. According to medical professionals, early detection is crucial in preventing genital urinary tract cancers, such as kidney, urinary tract, bladder, and prostate cancers. Urologist Dr. Ngendahayo Edward from King Faisal Hospital provides insights into these cancers, underscoring the significance of timely diagnosis for effective prevention and management. Take a look.
It's difficult to know that you have cancer of the kidney when it is at early stage. But with regular medical checks, with ultrasounds, CT scans that are requested most of the time for other reasons, you can know that you have a small cancer of the kidney. And it's good when you know it ahead of time, when it is at early stage. That means when it is at a level that can be excised surgically. The risk factors are few, but currently we are now seeing people coming with no obvious risk factor that is written in the books, even at the earlier stage compared to what is written in the literature. But when it comes that patients present at late stage, there are some symptoms, including hematuria. That means having blood in the urine. That symptom should alarm the primary healthcare providers, but also the patient, so that they are referred to urologists. A second cancer we're talking about is the cancer of the urinary bladder. This one starts within the urinary bladder. A small mass, a small lesion, triggers most of the time hematuria. So if you see in the urine that there is blood, yourself and your primary healthcare provider shouldn't delay a transfer until the whole workup is done, the comprehensive imaging and the laboratory tests are done. Hematuria points to cancer either of the kidneys, of the ureters, of the bladder, of the urinary bladder, and even of the prostate. So that means that the cancer of the urinary bladder can be detected at an early stage when it is curable, when it is operable, with good results. Moving down to the prostate. Prostate is the most common urological cancer, and it is a challenge that we have now. But there are no symptoms that points to early prostate cancer. That's why we advise people, because this cancer is a cancer of the elderly, we advise all people aged 50 to come with no symptom to see a urologist to discuss about prostate, prostatic disease, and mainly prostate cancer, because when it is discovered at early stage, it can be curable. It can be operated on and patient live very longer. Going down to the cancer of the testicles and the penis. Cancer of the testicles is rare. I don't mention it here. But the cancer of the penis also is a cancer that comes to our organ that we clean all the time, that we see all the time. Fortunately, we see people coming with an advanced disease, being at risk of having their sex, their penis, excised or amputated. So an early lesion, a small tumor, a small wound on the penis should alert the primary healthcare providers for an early transfer.
Moving ahead to causes of the genitourinary tract cancers. So what is the cause of these cancers mostly?
It differs from a cancer to another one. But if I start with the prostate, or if I focus on the prostate is a cancer of aging. If all men could reach 80 years of age, more than a half would have cancer. But few would have serious symptoms caused by cancer. So it comes with the age, and everybody is willing to wants to age, there is no much risk factors. A small proportion of 10% of people have prostate cancer because of genetic issues in their family. But for others, it just comes to one or to other one with no difference in the people.
How prevalent are these cancers in our community, in the Rwandan community?
So I don't have figures for all cancers, most of these that are from RBC, but what is known is that prostate cancer is the most common cancer in male, not only in Rwanda, but also worldwide. And it is the most challenging currently because of its incidence. In our daily practice, it's like every day of consultation, at least we have 2 or 3 cancers of the prostate. After the prostate, for all our urological cancers, penile cancer comes second. For the other cancers, the kidney and bladder cancers come third and fourth in our urological cancers. But whatever the prevalence, these cancers are curable by surgery when they are detected at early stage. So should consider this as a challenge we have in our specialties. But the problem is now, how can we get patients at an early stage? So in summary, these are the cancers we deal with, and they have a particularity of being operated on with very good results. But what is pending is an early detection.
Thank you for being part of our news bulletin today. Until our next encounter, take care and goodbye.